everyone. I'm Ilker. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Botanalytics. As you know, we are running Botanalytics as a service and analytics and engagement tool for chatbots. And today we're starting our first bot talks with Ekim. Ekim is running to Botego. Actually, he has been in this space in more than 10 years. And we have a lot of questions to him. And let's start with Botego. How you started and can you tell us a little bit about Botego?
Sure. We started back in 2017 when people really didn't know what a bot is, even before Siri was acquired by Apple. So I used to work as a call center agent back in college, and it's really easy to spot a problem with customer service. The same questions are asked over and over again, so there's an obvious inefficiency with the call center operation that can be optimized with software tools. So bots were really a nice to have back then. We were targeting the innovation angle with enterprises, because when you use such a new technology, it strengthens your perception as an innovative company, and this was our selling point. So we've been always doing the enterprise angle, and we have a couple of B2C bots just as an experiment, mobile apps, and one of them was successful. It received almost 1 million downloads. But we've been generating revenues from enterprise clients, mostly telecom, finance, Fortune 500 companies, some customers from Europe, some from Middle East. So we expanded our operations to New York in 2012. And now, as I'd like to say, the market has come to us because we were already working on the technology for quite a while. So now we're here. Things are really getting excited for us, and we'd like to use our expertise in this space.
Yeah. Actually, it has been 10 years. How has space changed in these 10 years?
It changed quite dramatically. When we first started, there were no AI engines, there were no content resources. Now, with these emerging platforms, it's really easy to start a bot company and build bots. So there is a fundamental paradigm shift in terms of bot development. I think it's not a rocket science anymore, as we like to call it, because we had developed our first NLP engine by ourselves from scratch. We used Python and open source technologies, MongoDB. But now, there's Microsoft platform and the Facebook Messenger APIs. Of course, it's really popular. At this point, it's the value add comes from the intent management. So it takes just a couple of hours to build a bot from scratch, but what you need to bring on the table is the experience to be able to handle the user experience from the greeting all the way to the goal, which completes the intent. So the problem with this space is now people don't know what to expect from bots, both the customers and the users. So you have to first communicate what bots have to offer, and you have to execute, because unless you provide a really satisfactory guidance, it's really easy for a bot project to go south, because if you don't know what you're doing with a customer who doesn't know what to expect, it's really difficult. So you just need to handle the whole process, the sales cycle, from setting the expectations right and all the way to the delivery. So this is what bot developers need to be caring about right now?
In that process, you work with many customers, and today there are a lot of bot maker companies, there will be, and some of them are focusing on some specific vertical, maybe banking or travel.
Right.
And it's really important for bot makers to focus on specific vertical, and some of them giving some general solution. On that purpose, what's your opinion about it? And on your case, what are your cases? And could you share your cases with us?
I think I have a different position when it comes to what kind of bots need to be built right now, because I see that many people are going with the B2C path right now, but I think it's problematic because if you go out to the street and ask any person what a mobile app is, they will most certainly know, even regardless of their age, their background. But we can say the same for the bots, and it will take some time for the awareness to emerge in the space. So until then, I think B2B is the way to go, because Fortune 500 companies have the resources, the marketing budgets to get their bots discovered by their users, and these banks and telecom companies and insurance companies already have a really broad audience in terms of customers, so they already engage with them on a daily basis. So they will be investing in this technology, and they will raise awareness among their users. Then it will be more meaningful for bot developers to target B2C, because I have a theory. I wrote a book that will talk about it. The three bots theory says that every user needs to face an average of three bots before they can talk about them having a bot awareness. Because let's say there's a bad experience and there's a good one and there's a mediocre one. So after these three engagements with three different bots, they will have a better understanding of what they expect from a bot, and they will act accordingly. Because now, the downside of these tech giants, Google, Facebook, Microsoft, investing in the AI space is that they're really raising the expectation bar, because bots are really a different segment that is a practical application of the AI space, but it's just a subset. Thanks to Google Home and all other Cortana and all these technologies, people expect really something like they see in the science fiction movies. So they will see that there's a difference between practical daily bot and those kind of investments, technologies. And a simple bot is perfectly fine when it comes to delivering a good customer experience. So when their expectations are set, it will be easier for bot developers to reach out to users and gain attraction from individual users. We're not there yet.
Again, let's move more on the B2C side. Actually, I remember 2008 when App Store released. On that App Store released, I remember the apps on 2008. They are just iframes of websites, and the usability is kind of limited. And today, when we look at chatbots, the first version of the chatbots are really limited. So, what's the motivation for people to use chatbots currently and next year?
Again, when you consider from the B2B perspective, these people are already interacting with these businesses on a daily basis. You have to check your balance, you have to inquire about your account. So rather than calling the call center and waiting in a long line, or trying to download a mobile app just for this purpose and download lots of mobile apps because you're a customer of many different businesses. You already have Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp in your mobile app device, so you will start engaging in a different platform, and once you start doing that, you will be asking for bots from other businesses. I mean, you are, all of us are a customer of a telecom company, a bank, an insurance company. So if they're already existing on a platform which is already in our pocket, in our device, it will be easy for us to handle that part of our daily lives, right? So first, the enterprise clients will offer these services, then they will be driving the demand from users, because if you don't have a bot, there's something missing in your customer service strategy. And we're not so far away from that point. I think that this will happen, this transformation will take place within this year. And 2018 will be much easier for bot developers if they have the resources and the energy to go through this year.
Yeah, I got it. And for market, what about market? How do you forecast the market in the next 3 or 4 years? And, yeah, how big is the market?
I think I have a really bold opinion about this, because I say in my book, every business who uses email is a potential buyer of a bot. Because it's just a new way of interaction, and it's more efficient, more smarter way to do things. So I'm not a fan of predicting numbers. We will see how things will unfold in a couple of years to come, but it's pretty obvious already that we're beyond the point of no return, because this is the first time all these tech giants, Google, Facebook, Microsoft, have invested in the same space. They're betting on the same technology, and I think this is impressive. And it's really single-handedly created an ecosystem from nothing, from zero, in just less than a year. You see there are more than 22,000 people in the Facebook bots group, and it's really vibrant. New news are discovered every day, and they're mostly excited about things happening in the space. So again, we can talk about billions of dollars, but it's not meaningful. We will just see more and more people using bots every day.
And while people are using bots, I think the most important thing is engagement.
Right.
Engagement and retention. Actually, on Botanalytics bot, we are tracking hundreds of bots, and the engagement is currently really low. So, what's your suggestion for bot makers, bot developers to increase their engagement?
Okay. So if you provide value, either directly to the user or through a third party like like an enterprise client, they will come back. In the same way they will be using mobile apps, right? But if you have a really specific niche, like a content bot, I always use the New York City tour guide bot in my book. You don't need to use it if you're not walking around in the city. So the use case is pretty limited. So you just need to think big in terms of your audience, but also you should be considering how often you would be using your bot. So I think you have a better understanding of engagement because you're running a Botanalytics company and you have the results. So you just need to provide value. There is no magic wand to achieve retention otherwise. Again, B2B is advantageous when it comes to retention because big corporations will be pushing this engagement on behalf of you as a bot developer. There are many nice examples in B2C as well, but their numbers are limited. So if you need to generate revenues as soon as possible, then you should be really smart in finding the best niche or to be. This is safer.
Actually, on our side, we provide some solutions to re-engage users, and for B2B and B2C. Actually, for B2B, cases are really different, and for B2C to re-engage users, the cases are really different on analytics and engagement side. Actually, we suggest our bot makers on B2B. For example, we have an alert system. You can set up an alert and people, number of messages or number of conversations more than 50, and say help me, and average conversation duration longer than 4 minutes, then alert sends to the bot maker, and bot maker can take over the conversation and jump into the conversation. For B2B side, it's really good because you may have five customers or 6 customers on B2B, and you can easily re-engage that conversation. But for B2C side, you may have some aggregate data and millions of users you can have. And on that side, you need to re-engage your users at their best re-engagement times. We're measuring their best re-engagement times, and you can broadcast messages maybe as soon as possible or some specific timer levels, and you can easily re-engage your users at that point. Actually, the cases are really limited currently, but I think in 6 months, 7 months, we'll see great use cases with re-engaging chatbot users.
I agree.
And let's look at our daily lives. What we see our daily lives, how people use chatbots in daily life. Actually, to be honest, I'm using like 3 bots. Really, and they're really efficient bots. And what do you think about it?
I think it will be an ordinary part of our daily lives, and this, when you consider the way this communication takes place, it's almost as private as you would have a conversation with your friend. You're giving this authority to a brand that they're being able to reach out to you. Of course, they need to consider some criteria that it shouldn't be, you shouldn't see it as spam. There are limits as to what can be done, but it's really private because if your notifications are on, you will always check that phone, who's reaching out to you, who is saying what. So this is really powerful in terms of companies having opportunities for using their bots. And well, what are your interests? I'm using also TechCrunch, CNN, and one of our customers, recipe bot, sending me daily suggestions about what to eat, which is a problem for me. So you have your interests, and you will be signing up for various bots feeding you content, feeding you with alerts. They will be pretty ordinary. It's like email is now really something that we ignore because we receive a great deal of messaging through email. So bots will be a new segment, and we will be consuming them for really frequently for a long time. And we will not even mention that we are using bots, that they will be so ordinary.
Actually, we talk a lot of things today, but you mentioned all of these things on your Google experience on your book.
Yeah.
So actually, on Boss Group, actually it's an amazing. You got a lot of comments, likes on your ebook. So tell us a little bit about your book and what chatbot makers, developers expect from this book. I think it's a really one-on-one book for chatbots.
When I signed up for that bot group on Facebook, I realized that most of the people are asking the same questions. They have no clue about how to attract users, how to get retention, and how to monetize their bots. So I simply put together a table of contents just to see if people will be interested. And I acted like I already wrote the book, which was not the case back then. And as you mentioned, they were really interested in seeing these titles being filled with experience. So then I was really motivated to cover these topics really well. There are things that apply to bot developers from my experience of a decade, but there are also new things that need to be considered because the user audience is new and we have new platforms. When we discuss a bot project with a customer right now, they're always asking for multiple channels like Telegram, Skype, not just Facebook or not just the web. Again, since the technology side is covered really easily thanks to technologies platforms available right now, I tried to cover the business angle and how to handle customers, how to provide the best user experience. 10 years of experience really comes handy when you want to cover these topics. I hope people will like it. I already have some good feedback from early users, early readers. I don't see any competition here because the market is big enough for all of us as long as we deliver the right experience. This is important because most people don't tend to give a second chance for a bot if they encounter a bad experience. So we have to make it right. And as the market grows, eventually it will help myself as a bot developer because I mean, there are millions of businesses out there who need bots, and after that, I think B2C will be the ultimate long tail, which is scalable, which you can monetize on really quickly. I think we're just 2 years away from the next biggest leap. The B2B to B2C transformation. So I'm excited about getting to that point with all my fellow bot developers in that group.
Actually, for today, thank you for sharing your experience and the information for chatbot makers and chatbot space people. It's our first bot talk session with Ekim. Ekim is running Botego, and we cover a lot of things today. Yeah, thank you, and yeah.
Thank you for having me. As a last note, I would like to say the name of the book is Bot Business 101. If you can Google it, I think it will be the first result, obviously. And I'm always open to receiving feedback because I will be updating the book with new stuff. And I'm also starting a consultancy business. I wouldn't like to call it business because it's free for bot developers who are bootstrapping. I can understand their difficulties. I've been through that process myself. So if you have a problem, just send me an email, visit botsuccess.com, and I will do my best to help you grow the ecosystem together.
Yeah, it will be perfect for bot makers.
Thank you for having me again.
Yeah.